everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Alysia here, and I'm very excited to be with you today from San Francisco, California for our monthly Inspiring Woman Global Online Fireside Chat. To celebrate Mother's Day month, we are going to be chatting to some truly extraordinary, inspiring women as they share the most important advice they ever got on their personal journeys to success. We are broadcasting live once again from our downtown office overlooking the Twitter building and absolutely loving the buzz of summer in the San Francisco air. Our Fireside Chat community continues to gain huge momentum out here in Silicon Valley. And this afternoon, we are meeting with the head of one of the biggest entrepreneurial global brands who is flying in from New York City just to meet with us. Once again, today we have an amazing session planned and are super excited that you're all here to join us for it. Now, I know you want to hear from them, so let me go ahead and introduce you to our VIP inspiring woman before asking them to properly introduce themselves to you. Welcome to California, USA-based Chloé Messdaghi, who's a social organizational changemaker, thought leader, and global traveler. Welcome to Johannesburg, South Africa-based Michaela Hogan, who's an entrepreneur, business development expert, and marketer. Welcome to Vermont, USA-based Shajen Aziz, who's an award-winning international best-selling author, educator, counselor, and speaker. Welcome to Cameroon-based Africa, Marie-Angélie Abanga, who's an advocate, speaker, lecturer, consultant, coach, author, and entrepreneur. And welcome to Lagos, Nigeria-based Dr. Alysia, who's a dentist, entrepreneur, and innovator. Would each of you please like to go ahead and introduce yourselves to our community? Chloé, please go for it.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. I basically am settled in San Francisco, California. And what I've been doing is I do consulting for nonprofits and startups. And I've been doing that for almost 5 years now. At the same time, in my free time, I tend to run a droplabels.org campaign and also nonprofit, which is where people can share times they've been labeled by their gender, by their race, from any different parts of the way that they've been categorized in a way where they can actually be who they are and be accepted. Other than that, I tend to travel the world.
Welcome, Chloé. Very excited to have you join us. Please say hello to Michaela. You seem to have lost Michaela. Michaela, are you there?
Oh, hi. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Please go for it, Michaela.
Hi, everyone. I'm really excited about this topic. I'm based in Joburg. I started working when I was 13 in hospitality and just wanted to start and earn my own money and kind of went into various different industries after studying marketing, went into the insurance space, went into retail, and then decided to co-found my startup, which was called Move the Stuff. Basically, in a nutshell, it was an online marketplace, a platform for moving, where we built a two-side. One was for consumers who could build their inventory online, and on the other side, it was for movers. It was an automated CRM system, allowing them to calculate their quotes. My passion is to build and grow businesses. Love getting my hands dirty and seeing and understanding what makes businesses tick. And then just some rules that I live by my life is to be curious, live on the edge, take risks, dream big, and never give up. And then also, most importantly, just love life.
Love it, love it, love it. Welcome, welcome, Michaela. Very excited to have you join us. Yinka, please say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Yinka. Please say hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yinka Chloé. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I live here with my husband and our 2 little boys. I'm a trained dentist. But a few years back, myself and my husband got a beautiful idea that came after our not too good experience looking for a venue for a wedding. There was no solid online directory in Nigeria for venues, and it took us a whole lot of investment in time and resources before we were able to get a venue. So we saw a gap, we saw a need, and we decided to fill it with Venue Compass, Nigeria's premier online booking platform for venues and spaces. It's been exciting, though challenging, but we've been going along. We've been pulling it through. And I'm so excited to be here. I'm so happy to meet you guys. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you, Yinka. Very excited to have you join us. Shajen, please say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shajen Joy Aziz. I am a master educator, and I also have a master's in psychology. And I am the co-creator and author of the world-renowned Discover the Gift. It's a book and a movie, and it really follows my life's tragedy. When I was 12, I lost my mother in a car accident and our house to fire, and our stepfather had left. And so my life had really fallen apart. And I learned how to turn my pain and my tragedy into a powerful purpose, which is supporting others to discover their gifts and who they really are, and to join them and support them on their healing journey of awakening.
Absolutely exquisitely said. Thank you so much, Shajen. Very excited to have you join us. Marie and Sandra are having some connectivity issues, but as soon as they can join us, they will. Now, just a few important things before we jump into all the questions we have for our VIPs. On the screen are contact details for our panelists. Please feel free to reach out to them. You know, you can keep sending your questions through to inspireme@onlinefiresidechat.com, and we'll do our very best to include them. Given how many of you are joining us today, we have community champions managing the chat room. So if you have a question for one of our VIPs, please make sure to ask it and we'll try and get it answered. Just a reminder, we have community champions and ever-growing meetup groups in over 80 cities and 55 countries around the world, including North and South America, the UK, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, India, Asia, and Australia. And I'm going to spare you all the names. If you'd like to meet up with one of your local chapters or you'd like to start your own, feel free to reach out to us or put you in contact with one of our local community champions. On that note, this is a shout out to all our champions from around the globe. You are the heart and soul of our community, and we wouldn't be here today without you. Over the next few months, with all your help, we'll be sharing and inspiring entrepreneurs in more than 100 countries. Together, we know that we can make this dream come true. Thank you to all our VIP guests today. We're incredibly appreciative that you're joining us. Thank you to our growing family of supporters and collaborators from around the developing world, who once again hosting sessions for hundreds of entrepreneurs who don't have access to the necessary bandwidth or understanding of the English language to join our sessions on their own. Thank you to all the ministers, to ambassadors, government ministries, UN offices, US Embassy corners, British Council offices, university campuses, schools, business incubators, Chamber of Commerce's, community centers, radio stations, and media for all your weekly hosting support and for raising awareness within your regions. You can see the list is growing ever longer. We have lots of supporters, so thank you. Thank you to everyone from our UN Woman team for all your support as well. We're streaming across new platforms today, and if you'd like to share us with entrepreneurs in your community, let us know so that we can be on a radio station near you. So everybody, we have big news on that front, but we will keep you up to date, so stay tuned. Now, the moment you will be waiting for, you want to learn from the best, and here they are. Just to make our VIPs feel as comfortable as possible, how it's going to work is we're going to ask you a question. We're going to direct it at one of you. Feel free to answer it. If you're another panelist and you'd also like to contribute, please let us know, and we'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So, starting off easy. Michaela, this one's for you. I hope you're nice and comfortable. Everybody sit back, relax. We want you to have a brilliant time. So, Michaela, who or what inspires you to succeed?
Sure. So there's probably quite a lot of things. For one is just being able to have the freedom of choice one day. So being able to build successful businesses or being a part of something that I can build, that inspires me. Being able to, I have a set of goals that I would like to achieve, and one of them is being able to be free to travel the world. The second one is to be able to be in a space where I can give someone who's less fortunate a better chance at life. And then just being curious and being able to explore as much and experience as much as I possibly can. Those are the things that inspire me.
Love it, love it, love it. Shajen, anything you'd like to contribute to what Michaela was saying? Who or what inspires you?
Absolutely. Michaela, beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. You know, children and families inspire me, and healing inspires me. And what I want to say about that is what's most important is that, you see, when we as adults do the work that we need to do to heal ourselves and to connect more fully with our communities, is that we create a world that our children can thrive in. So it's about us doing the work within so that we can create a powerful and thriving platform so our children get to focus on what's right and wonderful about them as they grow up so that they can share their gifts powerfully with the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, this is an amazing session. Thank you so much, Shajen. Yinka, this one's for you. How on your journey to success, you've accomplished so much. How do you define success, Yinka?
Okay, to me, success is determined by the amount of uncertainty you can comfortably handle. Success comes only when you're willing to try, when you're not afraid of failing. And even when you fail or you get no, you get rejections, it's a good thing, because if you're not pushing yourself too hard, hard enough, I mean to say, if you're not doing something destructive, something groundbreaking, then you won't be getting no. So when you get no, when you get rejection, see it as a sign that you're doing well. And of course, to me also, success also means passionately persevering through it all, through all the uncertainties, against all odds, against all the no's. You keep at it, keep going on. Then also working for a purpose, doing something fulfilling, something that impacts someone else positively, something that can change the world. You make others happy, then you are happy. Then when you're happy, you are successful. That is what I see to be the determinant of success.
Love it, love it, love it. Chloé, anything you want to add to how you define success?
Yeah, pretty much what she said. I determine success by how many people are being positively impacted by what I do. I think success, we have to always be aware of everyone that's impacted by whatever we do, whatever type of project we take on, whatever type of company we start. We need to make sure that all elements are part of it, where no one's going to be disempowered from it.
Love it. Thank you. Extremely inspiring words. Yinka, I have a question for you. You touched on it a few minutes ago. What do you feel is the biggest difference between entrepreneurs and people who work for other people?
I love being an entrepreneur because I'm able to set my schedule around my priorities, my family, my life, my children. I'm a busy mom of 2 boys, but being an entrepreneur gives me the flexibility and control that my employee friends can only dream of. And being an entrepreneur, I literally own my destiny. I could be as creative, as innovative as I want, and the results most times are rewarding. I could contribute to the society. I could add value. I could give livelihoods to others. I have the freedom to change, to learn, to adapt, see something you create from the scratch, see it grow. All of this gives you a sense of fulfillment and meaning to life that you may not be able to get as an employee. So those are the basic differences I see between being an entrepreneur and working for someone.
Thank you, Yinka. Michaela, any thoughts you'd like to share there?
Sure, what else can I add? I would just probably say exactly the same thing. Being an entrepreneur, it honestly is so empowering. You are able to build out your vision. You have the freedom once again. It is different to working within a business. I've had it from both sides. So yeah, I mean, I think also if you have an idea and you want to implement it and you want to start something, I believe that you just need to jump off the bridge. It's one of my sayings. I always say that it's what defines an entrepreneur. If you are someone who's always going to wonder or wait for something or have excuses as to why you can't start today, you're never going to launch. But it's when you have those ideas, surround yourself with like-minded people, and just do it. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to fail. and then you can just get up and restart again. I know for some people that's really hard and they find it exceptionally very difficult, but I think that's where the perseverance comes in, and if you believe in something, you just have to keep on going. Just keep on going.
Brilliant words of advice. Thank you, Michaela. Chloe, this next one's for you. You're based out here in Silicon Valley and you're doing some really cool stuff. Have mentors played an important role in your journey to success?
Yeah, I would say that my number one mentor would actually be my mom, believe it or not. And the reason for that is that growing up, she's been in the tech, she's been in Silicon Valley for such a long time, and seeing all the walls that are there, all the ceilings she tries to hit and she breaks through majority of the time. Just being around her, seeing what she's gone through, that was the most inspirational thing, because at the end of the day, even though, you know, it's very dominated by men, there are still women out there that are just saying, no, I'm going to break through here too, and just keep pushing through. And also seeing there's like this shift happening where women are just like, no, I'm not taking this anymore. You're going to give me the same pay, and I'm also going to get those positions just as well. And seeing more and more women now going out in Silicon Valley, trying to raise funds for incredible projects. I think that's something that there's a start. And I would definitely say my mom was my mentor in a sense to get me to even think that women can go into the tech.
Thank you, Chloe, and you've touched on some very important points, and that's why we're here today, to talk about these things. So I'm looking forward to a fascinating session with all of you. Shajen, following on from what Chloe was saying, do you feel that advice from women is taken as seriously as advice from men?
Do I feel advice from women is taken as seriously as advice from men? I think that's a great question, and I think it depends on the genre and the space that you're in. In my experience, women have to speak often louder, more clearly, have more backup behind their word and their voice to be able to be seen and heard. I have found that to be extremely true, both in education, in the film world, as well as in the writing world.
Thank you, Shajen. And now we get into the juicy part. So everybody, here we go. So Yinka, this one's for you. Do you believe that when a woman fights for a voice to be heard in Nigeria, does she come across as aggressive and forceful?
Yes and no. The truth is, the culture does not primarily support women to speak out, to take the lead. Women are supposed to be submissive. Women are supposed to follow the lead of men. But then, depends. Things are changing. People are becoming more and more educated and exposed. And gradually, we are seeing a change in perspective. So people generally are better disposed to listening to women now than they used to be in Nigeria.
Love it, love it. Shajen, we would love to hear your thoughts on what Yinka was saying. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Yinka. That was a beautiful layup. You know, one of the things that I've really discovered, and no pun intended, in this work, being a woman, is that when I want to draw boundaries and clear lines, it's always a surprise for those around me. And what I want to share with the listeners and the people here is draw your boundaries, be clear, and don't worry about what others are going to think or feel. You see, the response I get, because I'm in personal development and spirituality, which is a big part of my work, is people say, how could you say that to me? Or how could you be like that? You're spiritual, or you're supposed to be gentle and soft. And my response is, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, and I'm a businesswoman. And I have to be able to draw my lines to be able to feed myself, to love myself, and take care of myself. So as women, I think it is much harder for us out there to be able to do all we're doing and be able to draw that line. Because when we do, it surprises people, but it's okay. The more we do it, the less it will surprise them, and the more it will become normal for us to speak clearly and draw our lines.
Thank you, Shajen. You touched on some extremely important points there. So thank you. I hope everyone was paying attention. A question for you, Michaela. Do you feel that there are pressures put on female entrepreneurs that our male counterparts don't have?
I think for me to answer this question can sometimes be difficult. And I'll tell you why. Reason is I'm not married and I don't have children. So from my side, my life is pretty simple. So I don't necessarily feel those kind of pressures, but 100% I think, women who are married and have small kids and are trying to run a business, 100% feel those pressures. And I honestly, I have the utmost respect for those women on how they do it and how they multitask all these various different things of getting up early in the morning and getting the kids ready for school, dropping them off, being able to be at that 8:30 meeting, have a full day, come back and prep the kids and say hello to the husband, and somehow find it in the day to have time for themselves. I just don't know how people do it. So from the way that I run my life, I don't necessarily think I think it has a massive how do I say this? I think it depends on who your partner is, and who you have and who you've surrounded yourself with in your life. And I think you also have a choice. So you have a choice for other people to put those pressures on you or for them not. So in a personal life experience with regards to friends, I think that's where you have to be able to draw boundaries and those lines, and be able to create a space for yourself to re-energize. And then when it comes to your partner, I think choose your partner wisely. I think also there's a level of transparency, and maybe women are too scared to be transparent about how involved their business is or the work that they do. So I think the other thing is just to be completely transparent with your partner and make sure that person understands your world as much as you understand theirs, and then it speaks to just a level of respect. So yeah, I think there definitely is pressure, but I think you can mitigate it as a woman by just making sure that you have the right people around you and you have a supportive partner.
Brilliantly said. Thank you, Michaela. Yinka, anything you'd like to add there?
Yes, I would also like to add the fact that it's not easy, really. But then, like she rightly said earlier, it depends on the people you surround yourself with. And most importantly, there is this saying that says it's not the water in the ship that sinks the ship, it's the water outside. The other way around. It's not the water outside, but that's inside. So when we don't allow pressures to get into us, even when they are around, we'll keep going. We wouldn't be affected. So we need to know who we are, know what we stand for, and be determined to forge ahead, regardless of pressure, to do well or not to do well.
Thank you, Yinka. Shajen, this one's for you. Michaela and Yinka have touched on some very interesting points, and you've had an incredible journey. What was the most important piece of advice you've ever received from a business perspective, and how has it changed your life overall?
The most important piece of business advice that I've received over this journey of really discovering myself and my gifts to support others was exactly what everyone's talking about. Don't give up. Don't let your dreams, your passions, your desires go to the wayside. That was the best advice I ever got. And one of the things that happened to me, which is recent, was, Discover the Gift is in 24 countries and 14 languages, the book, and the movie is distributed worldwide by Gaia TV, and you can find it on discoverthegift.com. However, what I want to share about all of that is that what happened in this is that everybody owned me. Pieces of companies, of publishers, of filmmakers, of other people, they all owned pieces of me. And I felt, as a mom who works really hard on all the things I do and primarily take care of my child and my husband, is that I wanted my pieces of my project to myself. And so I set out on a journey to go gather them so I didn't feel so dismembered. So I had the right to sell my own product and my own project from my own website and have that money stream come directly to me. So many people said, oh my God, what are you doing? Don't do it. What are you doing? But yet I had one person, and I went to him and I said, this is so important to me. I just want to feel whole. And he said to me, Cheyenne, life is short. Follow through. Do what you know to be true. And he gave me my own advice, which is follow through on what you know to be true for you. Because that's what's important. You know what's important to you. You know your experiences, and you're the only one with your perspective. And so when I did that, what happened was it took 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and I did it. And I'm in my first year of actually owning my own assets, my own product, my own pieces, and having that money stream come to my space and to my world. And that took courage, and it took, as everyone's talking about, having who you surround yourself with makes such a difference. You see, we really do become and start to think like the people that we hang out with the most. So believe in yourself and follow through.
Beautiful, beautiful words of advice. Very valuable. Thank you, Cheyenne. Yinka, you'd like to add something? Please go ahead.
It's like Shajen knows what exactly I was about to talk about. The best advice I ever got is you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. I have a burning, desire to constantly improve myself, to learn new things, especially coming from my background, from my medical background, now into the tech space. And so I have learned to choose my associates wisely. I mean, when I talk about association, I don't mean just my friends, even the books I read. Whatever I want to spend my time on should leave me better than before. And so I try to go outside my space so I can have new perspective, think outside the box, create new ideas and solutions that I wouldn't have come up with if I'd not, chosen my friends carefully, or choose what I read carefully. This has been of tremendous help to me.
Thank you, Yinka. I know Michaela also wants to share some thoughts there. Please go ahead, Michaela.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, everything I'm listening to is everything that I live by. So thank you both, Cheyenne and Yinka. So, I mean, one of the best things best advice that one of my mentors told me, because I never understood, I was getting quite frustrated to a certain degree how I work at a very high pressure pace. I work very, very fast. I get things exceptionally very quickly. And it really frustrates me when people around me are about 5 steps, behind. And one of my mentors told me, never, ever, ever lower yourself to the people that you're surrounded by. Try and find a way to raise them up, because you're going to go backwards yourself. And what will happen is that you'll become the average of the people that you surround yourself. So something similar to what Yinka was saying. And exactly that, like, just always push yourself and make sure that you are pushing yourself to become better and better. Everything that you touch, and it just kind of like relates back to what Yinka was saying around the people that you surround yourself with, the mentors that you sought after, the books that you read, everything that you spend your time on, spend it wisely and make sure that you are going to be better and bigger, like Yinka said, once you have completed that.
Beautiful words of advice. I was actually writing it down as we were going, so thank you, Michaela. A question for you, Chloé. Your co-panelists have shared some valuable insights, and we're a global community of entrepreneurs. The question for you is, do you believe that we as female entrepreneurs and global game changers are doing enough to help groom and support one another and women entrepreneurs around the world?
Great question. Honestly, I feel that what women can do is, instead of holding each other back, really pushing forward for everyone, be accepting of who they are. Sometimes I find that we have women that gossip and hold each other back. And that could be, based on our society and how we have presented women to be with women. And I think that's one of the things that really holds us back, women, from growing and being able to be going up that ladder. But also, I feel like what we really need to work on right now for women and entrepreneurs is VC funding. I think that's one of the most important parts right now, because I have heard some incredible projects and women going out there trying to get VC funding, and it's usually men you're presenting to. And this is the problem, is we need more VC women on these boards, or more organizations that provide VC funding for women. And I think that's incredibly important, because all the statistics that we have about startups, they're all basically because they're men. Let's be honest here. Most of the startups that are funded by VCs, they're men. And the failure rate is higher. And there are research that has shown this, that when you give women funding, they are more likely to succeed in doing their startup. So I think right now our major focus as women and entrepreneurs is really having this conversation about getting funds, and not just that, to fund an idea, because there's so many women that they come into a VC's office and give a great presentation and share all this great material, and then they either are given two ways out of that room. One, they're not going to fund you because you're a woman. Even if you're like the most capable woman, you have the experience, they're not going to fund you. The other one is that they give you a reduced amount of funds that you're asking for. And I think that is the major thing. We need more women entrepreneurs, but we also need more women to help other women and really push this forward.
Well done, Chloe. Well done to all our panelists. This is how we create change. Thank you for bringing out the elephant in the room. So thank you. We're definitely coming back to this question because there's a lot of stuff we need to cover here. I know Shajen wanted to say something. So Shajen, please go for it. And then we're coming back to the issue of startups being funded.
I love what I'm hearing about the women in the room. I have a very dear friend who works in some of the biggest companies, two of them in Silicon Valley. And as a woman, her struggle has been unbelievable. To be heard, to be validated, to get the same pay. It has been phenomenal, even though she has a global patent above everyone else, she and PhDs, she still was paid unbelievably less amount of money. It was stunning, actually. So I just wanted to share that. But the piece I wanted to chat about for a moment, and I think we're all talking about it in different ways, is what we focus on expands. Where we put our mind and our hearts, our mindset is really everything. It's where we choose to put our energy. And that's how moms like me and entrepreneurs who we juggle so much, the reason we do it is because we're very present and we're clear, and what we know, what we focus on expands. And as a woman entrepreneur, the thing that I want to share with everyone out there, what's really important for everyone is to remember to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right? We have to give ourselves energy. We have to have self-care and balance to be able to model that which we're wanting everyone else to step into. So I really just wanted to share that point. What we focus on expands. Where is your mindset? What are you focusing on? And what actions are you taking based on what you're thinking?
Thank you, Shajen. As I say, I'm taking notes throughout the session because I'm learning so much from all of you. Michaela, you've been contributing throughout this conversation, and I've had these conversations with you. A lot of change is ahead of us as women entrepreneurs and game changers in that. Let's talk about startup funding, putting ourselves first, getting what we're rightfully entitled to. Please give us your perspective coming from South Africa.
So I'm going to quickly ask, in what light? What do you mean?
So exactly what Shajen was saying, exactly what Chloe is saying. Shajen's talking it from a personal perspective that we have to honor ourselves. Chloe's talking it from a business perspective. I've seen this as far as venture capital funding goes. I've experienced it personally. That is why I'm championing what we're doing. Let us hear from you. How do we merge these two? Putting ourselves first, as well as making sure we get the best deals for ourselves in our professional lives.
Yeah, in South Africa, South Africa is so far behind San Francisco, and it's one of the reasons why I'm wanting to move there, just to learn from everyone over there. But what we're seeing here in South Africa from a startup perspective is that there aren't that many women, and I'm not exactly 100% sure why. I think it's maybe got to do with I think there's a few things. Number one could be from a cultural perspective, where we have different types of cultures, and in most of them, women are suppressed. So that could be one of them. The other thing is, I think women are scared to just sometimes take the leap of faith. And then also we have a very small startup ecosystem here in South Africa. It is growing, and we are getting there. But what I've been hearing is a little bit different to with regards to women not being funded. I think the reason for that is because we have a lot more men in the ecosystem versus women. I think as women, we need to stand together, and we need to build each other up, and potentially partner with women, and get more women involved, and work a lot closer together. I think in that way we can increase the amount of women into the ecosystem. I have also had experience with speaking to a lot of VC companies in South Africa, and their perspective over here is that they actually prefer to invest in women if they can find a woman that is strong, is capable, and they have a great idea. They would put money behind them, and it wouldn't necessarily be less than what they would give men. They've seen exactly what Chloé was talking about, how the failure rate is much higher with men versus women. So in South Africa, we're starting to see that VC companies and angel investors are starting to back a lot more women if they can find women who have a startup. So I think the first step for us is to just encourage and build these networks, and encourage each other to take the leap of faith and potentially partner with women, and maybe that will help in terms of two are better than one, and being stronger and being able to help each other, encourage each other, inspire each other. So I think that's my advice. I think the first step is to just start encouraging more women to get into the ecosystem.
Thank you, Michaela. Yinka, any thoughts you'd like to add there?
I would also like to add that things are changing, actually. We're seeing more and more positive perspective to women entrepreneurs. And I believe that, now I'm not trying to flatter you, Alysia, but the truth is, when we see people like you, when we see what you're doing, we have hope. We have hope that things will be changed for good in a short while. So I just want to encourage us as women to keep at whatever we're doing. There will be changes. There would be changes, positive changes. Let's just continue, like we've all been saying. We shouldn't quit. We shouldn't be discouraged. And more people like Alysia will come up all around the world. And then would have a better faith, would have better recognition, better attention, and we'll be fine. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic.
Thank you, Yinka. It's extraordinary women such as yourselves that keep me motivated and inspired. So thank you to all of you. Chloé, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Given the fact that you are in San Francisco, there's been a lot of talk recently at Uber. A lot of the big tech companies are going through changes in terms of empowering more women. I would love for you to share your perspective in this, and share it with our global community, both the good, bad, and ugly.
Well, the one thing that has changed everything, I think, is that people are sharing their personal stories. I think that's the biggest thing, especially with Uber. The situation was that a woman actually who worked there posted her entire situation, her story, what happened, and it went viral. And that's the importance of storytelling, in my opinion, is the storytelling is what can bring about change. When we hear someone's story, we can't disregard it. We have to actually hear it. We have to understand it, and it questions our norms sometimes. And I think that's the most incredible part. So now when you have companies that are dealing with sexual harassment, also women being drowned by men's voices, it won't be working in the near future. I'll put it that way, because it will get out there. It will definitely get out there. Women are getting less and less silence. Women are now finding out more about their salaries through like Glassdoor. So now they can go into a room and approach someone and be like, no, actually, I'm worth this amount. And I think that's the thing now that's changing, is that women are just, they're like, I've had enough. If you don't treat me well, then I will leave and I'll go to a company that supports me. And that's the thing that I have definitely noticed. So there is some good and bad. The bad thing is that these occurrences that happen to women in the work office, of the low pay, sexual harassment, the drowning of their voices, that still is an occurrence. However, the positive things is that now you have social media, so you can blog about it. You can also find support groups around the area where women actually support each other. The other thing is that now you have all these great resources to find out if you are being underpaid. And I think that's really important now, and having more female managers are becoming more and more the norm.
Thank you, Chloe. Fascinating insights, and you've touched on so many important things. I know we as women often suffer in silence, and we do from time to time feel that we're victimized in the workplace and that, and we keep it quiet and that. You're each a game changer in your region, in your community, in the businesses you're building. How do you feel that we as women could share some tricks, the pitfalls, the lessons we've experienced with other women that could really help take things to the next level? Michaela, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think we've kind of touched on it, where we, bring people together. I know that I'm part of, 2 WhatsApp groups, for example, and we share lessons, we ask questions. I think it's through Facebook group communities and bringing each other together, through LinkedIn groups. So I think that's one part. I think the other part is what Chloe touched on is very much the storytelling, and being able to share stories with each other and being completely honest and transparent. I think that can help, especially, everyone experiences management different and has different types of leaders, whether it's man or women, and both come in good and bad forms. I think if you're able to just, if you yourself can be a leader and guide others around you, you'll be able to sort of, what's the word? It kind of becomes contagious. It's kind of where I'm wanting to go with this, is that, if you start that kind of culture and you start leading the way, things should be, and even that is, one has to question, like, what is the right type of leadership? And I think it differs for all different types of companies and teams of people. And you have to just, I think it's about including everybody. So having everyone have their voice be heard, and no one be drowned out, and having those like regular check-ins with each other, and being able to have those open conversations, and not feel that you need to get defensive. And that you can just honestly tell someone, look, you hurt my feelings in this way, or you know what, I really didn't like it when you did that, and just starting engaging. I think we need to have more conversations. I think in the past I know for myself, I've experienced a lot of dictatorship in leadership, a lot of blame game. So I've been fortunate and unfortunate. Fortunate that I've been able to experience what I definitely don't want to be as a leader. And then unfortunate because it's almost like a sense of verbal abuse and abuse in a sense. So I think those are my sort of recommendations on how we can better share and create this level of transparency and just start talking to each other.
Thank you again, Michaela. You've touched on some very interesting points, and this role of we as women being leaders and finding our voice in terms of what works, what doesn't work, and building teams, growing our businesses. If we're too aggressive, then we're seen as that horrible word. We all know what it is. If we're too soft, we're not taken seriously. Yinka, we'd love to hear your thoughts in terms of everything Michaela's touched on.
Yes, I absolutely agree with everything she has touched on. I believe we just need to continue to do what we're doing. Things will change. If we'll keep long at it, we're going to see changes. We're going to get a reward for our long wait. Things are changing everywhere in the world, actually, even where the culture is deep. deeply ingrained to women keeping quiet. Things are changing. The social media exposure, people's mind are being expanded to see things differently. So, like I said earlier, I'm optimistic things won't continue this way. All we just need to do is keep at what we're doing, do it the way we think is best to get it done. Don't be don't allow ourselves to be overly pressured, you know. Yes, we can get one or two advices from here and there from well-meaning people, but then we don't let the trending ideas in our society pressure us overly, you know. So if we continue this way, I'm sure things will be fine. I'm sure we're closer to the end of this. We've gone farther, you know, we've gone way farther. We're closer to the end of this. The silver lining to women's perception, to the perception of women, especially in the entrepreneurship journey, will definitely change.
Inspiring words all the way from Nigeria. Thank you, Yinka. Shajen, this question's for you. Eric Schmidt, when he was Google's CEO, had some very inspiring words of advice for Sheryl Sandberg, the CEO of Facebook, in regards to the importance of seizing incredible opportunities when they come your way. He said, if you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, you shouldn't ask what seat. You should just get on and go for it. What's your viewpoint on this, especially when it comes to many of us suffering from a fear of failure, being in communities that don't necessarily empower us as women? Shajen, please give us your thoughts.
Wow, great question. And my thoughts around that are many. And they're going to begin with step through your fear. When you're offered an opportunity and it's in alignment with pieces of who you are and you really like it, but you're afraid of it, go for it. Discover the Gift is in 24 countries and 14 languages, the book, because I stepped through my fear. I was getting my PhD and I had moved to LA and followed my husband there, who wanted to make movies with my brother. And someone had an idea and their idea wasn't working. And so I was just sitting working on stuff in a meeting, and my husband said, well, Shajen can write. You should see if she can write the book proposal. And I was like, nope, I'm too busy. I'm an academic writer. That's not how I do it. And he was like, no, you're really good. And then my brother was like, oh, well, maybe you should. And then I was like, no, you should get Jack Canfield or Marianne Williamson or one of those folks to write it. So here's the opportunity. I had choice in that moment. You see, every day we're presented with choice. So I had a choice. Push beyond my comfort zone. Step into a possibility of a dream come true. I've always dreamed of being a writer. You know, the key to writing is to write. So just write. The key to anything is doing it, is taking that action. So being willing to take that opportunity, even though I was so afraid to put my voice on paper, I was afraid people wouldn't believe me or want to know what I had to say. And what happened was I wrote that book proposal. I wrote it from my heart. I felt like a conduit, and I allowed my voice to be heard and on paper in a way I'd never done it before. And what did I have to lose? And it went to the London Book Fair, and 12 countries bought it immediately. And all of a sudden, I was like this accidental star. And what happened was I had to play catch up to the opportunity I almost said no to the opportunity I offered up to everybody around me, except people were offering it to me. So where in your life can you make choice? Choice that's positive for you, even though you're afraid. You see, being willing to step through that fear, and Neil Donald Walsh talks about it if you're into spirituality, and other people in business, they talk about it a lot, but it's pushing beyond your own comfort zone, because that's where your business is going to grow. That's where your life is going to grow. And so being willing to say yes to opportunities that are maybe not exactly as you imagined it, yet in alignment with who you are and what you know to be true, there's something there for you. And that's what I wanted to share about that.
Shajen, I sincerely hope everybody listened to that, because I think it could change all our lives. And following on from what you just so beautifully said, I'd love to hear from each of our panelists, because I know our community wants to, an example of something in your life that was scaring you, that you were frightened to do, that you overcame and you were better for it. Chloé, would you like to share anything with us?
Sure. I remember there was this moment I was on an airplane with my dad, and it was a moment where I was telling him that I think I've reached the ceiling. I don't think I'm going to be able to climb. I see so many women turn away from building their dream careers. And I'm like, maybe I should just go into a nonprofit world. And I remember my dad on the plane specifically said, he's like, don't let your gender put walls from achieving what you can do. And it was a moment where I was just like, oh, wow, that's some sound advice. I think that's one of the empowering things is just knowing that, that you can do whatever you set your mind to. You just got to work really hard at it. And there will be people that will hold you up when needed. But yeah.
Thank you, Chloe. Yinka, please tell us the time when you had to really walk through fear and come out the other end better for it.
It was last year. My company was planning the Africa's first ever summit for venues. We had never ever heard of this. We've not seen anyone do it, but we feel it's right to do it, and we decided to do it against the fears, the doubts, the feeling that can I pull this through? We don't even have a model to follow suit, to follow the example of a model. We were just there, going blindly, falling down, getting up. But then it's turned out to be a most successful event. It's totally changed the face of our business. It's totally placed us all high up from where we were. It was from grass. It was as if it was from grass to grace. This was something, if we had given into doubt or fear or feeling of I'm not able to do this, we wouldn't have been able to do it. It's taught me a very, very important lesson in life. But whatever it is, just do it. Even if you fail, you have learned the way to do not to do it. So that was a turning point in my business, in my life, and I'm happy I learned that lesson.
Love it, love it, love it. Michaela, we'd love to hear from you too.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really scares me. I believe everything is possible, but the one thing that does scare me is death. And about 1.5 years ago, my father passed away. He was diagnosed with lung fibrosis and had quite a long journey. He's actually in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest, or the man who survived with the longest with lung fibrosis. I think it was he survived like 5-6 years now with it. Unfortunately, he passed away 1.5 years ago. And one of my biggest fears was exactly that, of losing him. Death scares me. I had never lost anyone really super close to me. So I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to take it. He was my best friend. I think, if I look at one of my mentors, he was definitely one of my mentors. He guided me. We'd chat like 2 hours every single day and talk about life, sex, drugs, rock and roll, business, you name it. We could speak about any type of topic and debate it and come out strong on the other side. And when this all happened, I just broken up with my boyfriend. I was moving to Joburg, and they always say like things happen in threes. And the next minute, a month later, my father suddenly passed away on Christmas Eve. So and I really thought it was going to cripple me. I thought I'd never experienced grief. I didn't know. I've never been able to identify it or know what it is. And I think I've dealt with it. I don't know, and I don't think anyone ever really knows how if it's going to sort of like jump on you at some point. But all I knew was that he would want me to succeed. He's looking down on me. I need to be able to be strong for the family. And I set my mind to it, and I do believe anything is possible when you put your mind to it and you put focus and determination and resilience. All three of them all together, you do come out on the other end. And I believe that I've come through it, and I've experienced it, and I do feel like I am stronger for it. So yeah, it's one of the things that really, really scared me, but I believe I've come through it.
Thank you, Michaela. That was incredibly brave to share with all of us, and we honor you for your passion, for your courage. So thank you for sharing that with us. We feel very privileged. Now, before we end, we'd love to ask each of our panelists to just start preparing their tweet piece of advice for all of us to go and apply to both our lives and to our businesses. I'm sure they want all of you to succeed. So I'm going to ask our panelists to prepare those. In the meantime, thank you to everyone for a truly, truly, truly special session today. It really has been a game changer in our community's journey. Just to keep you posted on our upcoming sessions with some of the world's best joining us as panelists. I have bad news. We won't be having a fireside chat next week, Wednesday, as I'll be presenting alongside CNN's Richard Quest at the World Forum on Foreign Direct Investment in Shanghai. If you are in Shanghai, I would love to see you, so please come say hi to me. I'm so sorry, but we're not going to be able to have our session. I'm going to miss you all dearly, but we are going to be having our next fireside chat, which will be a very cool investor session on Sunday, 28th of May. That's going to be the biggest startup myths. What do investors know that we as entrepreneurs don't? You definitely don't want to miss that one. Then on the 31st of May, here's how you really raise funding, the secrets investors know and that we all want to kill to find out. We've got some entrepreneurs pitching for funding, so you don't want to miss it. Then on June 7th, do work too hard as an entrepreneur. Take control of your life now. I know you don't want to miss that one. I know you all dying to hear all the secrets there. So thank you to all of you. And now we're going to ask each of our VIPs to please share their tweet piece of advice, starting with Shajen. Please go for it, Shajen.
Thank you. My tweet piece of advice is quick. We are all a work in progress always. Be bold, courageous, and compassionate. These three actions, when braided together, support you in living a life you love.
Beautiful, beautiful words to end today on an inspiring note. Yinka, please go for it.
Don't wait for the right moment. Create it. Fail often so you can succeed sooner. Keep at it and remember it's okay to ask for help.
Yes, yes, yes. It is okay to ask for help. Chloé, please go for it.
The greatest motivation is when someone says you can't.
Yes, and you're going to prove to them that you can. So thank you, Chloé. And Michaela, please share your words of wisdom.
Mine is believe in yourself, never give up, surround yourself with like-minded people, and go and find great mentors that you can learn from to help you.
Beautiful, beautiful words. To our community, please keep us up to date on all your progress and exciting news. You know we love hearing from you. You can drop us an email at inspireme@onlinefiresidechat.com. You can find me as well as these absolutely extraordinary ladies on LinkedIn. You can find our champions on LinkedIn too. We love hearing from you, so don't be shy. Don't forget, if you enjoyed our session today and there are entrepreneurs around the world that you believe can benefit from our fireside chats, remember to share their invitations. We want to get to our 100-country goal, and we can only do it with your help. Before I sign off today, and we all sign off today, I would love for you to remember how important it is to be grateful. We are truly grateful to be in this position, to build our businesses, to inspire one another, to be surrounded by people that we love and care about, and that care and love about us. As you can see by these extraordinary ladies here today, we are very, very privileged people, and we should be lucky and grateful for all the wonderful things in our lives. Thank you again to everyone. Have a truly amazing week. You got to remember to never, ever, ever give up, no matter how hard it is. To all the ladies listening, you can't give up. You can see you can do anything you set your minds to. I'm now going to ask our amazing, inspiring ladies to please, on the count of three, shout bye to everyone. So until we see you again very soon, keep building those businesses, changing lives. Now I'm going to ask our panelists. 1, 2, 3. Everybody, please shout bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.